Chef Paul Lillakas is going to show us a special treat for Easter this morning, bird's nest cookies in your beautiful kitchen. Good morning.
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
So yeah, these are really fancy. How easy are they to make?
So that's the thing. They look fancy, they may look fancy, but they're not really at all. In fact, by now, I'm sure we've all seen those bird's nest cookies that are made with like pretzel sticks and chocolate. You know, they're all over Pinterest, all over online. But I wanted to make a cookie recipe that sort of created the illusion of hatching eggs. So it's actually kind of easier to make than those pretzel cookies, and I'll show you why, because you're not futzing with melted chocolate. This is really simple. There's only 6 ingredients. It starts with eggs, appropriate for Easter. So 1 egg white, and I'm just whipping that up with a little pinch of salt, some powdered sugar, and some honey. So it's the honey that will flavor these cookies, honey and almond. And then I'm just whipping that together until it creates kind of a white paste, and this will be the glue.
And because it's egg whites, it's going to be really light tasting.
Light tasting, and it really holds it together. So now I'm going to add about 200 grams of blanched sliced almonds. You could also use slivered almonds, but these really give a nice effect because they're nice and flat. They brown up evenly, and they kind of give that bird's nest effect. And now all there is to it is to mix well. I say mix well because you kind of want a little bit of that egg white mixture to get in between all the layers, but be gentle because you don't want them to just fall to crumbs. You really do want those pieces of almond kind of sticking up and around. So you fold that together just like so. And here's the other thing that you need to know. Be very gentle when you're making these piles. So just onto a piece of parchment paper on a nice sheet pan, I'm going to make little piles.
So it's not so much like a cookie dough then, right? It's very fragile.
It's delicate, but for that reason, there's not much to it. You know, you're not really rolling. You're just sort of piling. And then the other thing is you want the nest, for the nest shape, you want a little well in the middle. So what I use is just the back of a spoon, and I just get in there and sort of push outward. And you can use your fingers for this. It's not too sticky. And just like that, you create these little bird nest shapes. And then these go into the oven, a low oven, so 300 degrees for about 20 minutes. And we're par cooking them. So they're not cooked all the way yet, but they do deepen in color. And here's the magic part, okay? And you can have the kids help with this. You take 3 eggs and push them into each well, just like that. I like to choose 3 different colors per. It just gives that nice sort of multicolored effect. And pretty much everyone's got these hanging around this time of year, right?
If you're not eating them just right out of the bowl. That's what I'd be doing.
Well, that's why I buy extra.
Those are for baking.
Yes, of course. These are ingredients. These go back in the oven now for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that's how they crack. So by adding that little bit of heat, you allow the almond part of the cookie to continue baking, to bake fully through, and these will just crack. They won't explode. If you leave them in there, for example, for the entire bake time, they would explode, and it wouldn't work. But by putting them in just for the last 5 minutes, what you end up with are these beautiful cookies that have just cracking eggs, and they really look like the birds are about to hatch. And so it gives this really cool effect. And it's a little extra touch from, you know, that classic Easter bird's nest cookie, but not with a whole lot of extra work. In fact, like I said, I think that this is actually simpler to make than dealing with pretzels and melted chocolate. So give this one a try.
And these would be so beautiful, I think, if you just plated them as, you know, on a beautiful dessert plate, and that's the only thing on it. That would be so, because it looks really fancy.
It looks fancy, but it's not. And that honey and toasted almond flavor is lovely. And it's simple. There's not a lot to it, but it's a familiar sweet flavor. The egg white mixed with that caramelized sugar kind of has like a toasted marshmallowy flavor.
Love it.
And then, of course, you get the eggs and, yeah, put it on a plate like this, and it's beautiful for Easter.
Paul, the only thing that would be better is to have you in our kitchen making these so that we could actually try them. But next time.
Absolutely, next time.
We'll get the recipe and all your links up on our website at chch.com/morninglive. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.